Hi, this is Heather Cole, President of Lodestar Solutions. Today we're going to talk about tying corporate strategy to business analytics. Here at Lodestar, we realize that business analytics is comprised of people, processes, and tools in that order. Our goal is to empower the people. So before we get started, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I've been in the software industry for over 20 years, and I've been in the business analytics space for over 15 years. And what I've realized is that a lot of organizations out there are focusing on the processes and the tools, which is definitely needed, but what they're missing is the people part of it. And when we look at it, we really need to increase our leadership and communication skills. And part of this also ties to our leaders in our organization and how they tie our purpose and our goal of our corporation so that we can communicate it through our business and analytics and business intelligence tools. So today, that's what we're going to focus on. Our agenda consists of talking about the goals of business analytics, getting into the minds of the executives and talk about their thoughts. We're going to talk about the role of the CEO. We're going to identify what your strategy is in your corporation and how we can tie strategy and business analytics. Then we're going to take a little detour and we're going to talk about dragon boat racing and talk about how your boat is paddling. We're going to then tie that to corporate goals and strategic initiatives. We're going to have a little dialogue about the power of purpose and how it inspires and motivates people in our organization. Then we'll circle back with what is strategy and the roles of business analytics. So let's talk about the goal of business analytics as a whole. There's a lot of different definitions about this, but it's really to provide data in a usable format for better decision making to lead to increased profitability, right? So our goal as business analytics professionals is to take large amounts of data and help people make sense out of it. And oftentimes business analytics includes the categories of business intelligence, planning, as well as predictive analytics. So if our goal is to help decision making, we probably need to know a few things about those decisions that are being made. Let's talk about what the CFO thinks about business intelligence. Do they think it's a great investment? Do they think it's unreliable? Maybe they think it's a money pit. Or maybe they think it's unreliable and a money pit. Well, the answer really varies by your organization, but what we hear a lot is that CFOs think it's kind of a money pit because they don't understand how it benefits them. I'm sure all of you can identify with finance departments that go a little rogue. They take data dumps of the data, they throw it in Excel, they massage it, and then they start doing their own reporting, typically in Excel. And IT departments get frustrated, like we're providing you these great tools, and why do you still dump it into Excel? Well, the reason is because we're probably not delivering what the Office of Finance needs. So either one, the data is unreliable, or two, it's not into a usable format that allows them to do their analysis. So we really need to consider that when we talk to the Office of Finance, because remember, they sign the checkbook. So if you want funding or resources for your next project, you need to meet the needs of the Office of Finance. Now let's talk about what does the CEO think about business intelligence. Do they think it's a great investment? Do they think it's great for some departments but hasn't really met the organizational needs throughout? Do they think it's not delivered what we anticipated? And I love the last answer. What is business intelligence? Believe it or not, sometimes we get that answer. So again, this depends on your organization. So our goal is to better understand the mind of the CEO and understand what their needs and desires are and deliver for them. By delivering tools and solutions that can maximize the productivity of the CEO's office, then we make major progress. So what does the CEO do? Their job is obviously to communicate to all areas of the business and external. And they are in charge of setting the strategy and vision for the organization. When they do that, they need to communicate that strategy and vision to everyone in the organization. They need to build the culture and chemistry and atmosphere of the organization. Have you ever worked at a company where you just walked in the door and you just got that amazing vibe and energy where everybody was out to help everyone out and they were really exciting, and yet people were working really long hours, but they were having a blast doing it? That's the culture you want to develop. It's a culture with purpose, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit. The CEO also is responsible for building their team. So they bring in their executive team, and from there it builds on down the ranks, right? And another job of the CEO is to allocate capital. So this is important because we all want funding for our projects, right? So if we can deliver tools and solutions that meet their needs, then we're more likely to get allocated capital to our project. How many of you can tell me clearly strategy or strategic goal of your organization? Kind of wondering what that is? Most of you probably are. When we give our workshops, we oftentimes ask people in the workshops, and these are business intelligence professionals, how many can identify the strategy or strategic goals, and maybe one or two hands will go up. There was actually a research study done where the researchers asked employees of 20 major Australian companies, and these were companies that had clearly articulated their strategy to the public through various media, press releases, 10Ks, everything, right? And these people, when they were interviewed, were asked to identify their employer's strategy among 6 choices. So this was a multiple choice test, right? What percentage of the people do you think passed this? Now, very publicly known what their strategy is, right? Believe it or not, only 29% answered correctly. So that tells us over 70% of the people had no clue what the strategy of their organization is. We're going to tell you why that's really important to your organization in understanding that strategy. And this came out of the University of Technology in Sydney, if you want to find more information on this study that was done. So how do we tie our strategic goals to our business analytics? What's relationship there? So think about it as the strategic goal is the finish line. So we're in a race and we need to know where the finish line is, right? That's our goal. The strategy is how are we going to get there? So depending on the race, right, there may be a defined course or maybe it's a little free-formed. Then the execution of the strategy requires effective decision making. Business analytics is the providing of data in a useful format for this decision making. So you now see how that ties together. So we need great tools and great information to make us achieve our strategic goals and reach that finish line. So now we're going to take a little detour here and we're going to talk about dragon boat racing. Here in Tampa, Florida, they do a lot of dragon boat racing. And for those of you that don't know what this is, it's where a team gets together and they get in this boat and you have people on both sides of the boat and they're to paddle to a finish line and you're racing other boats as well. Oftentimes these boats are kind of painted or designed like a dragon. And there's a person in the back that steers and a person in the front that has a drum and they beat on the drum to deliver the cadence. So let's relate this to your organization. So your department are the paddlers, the CEO is steering, the cadence is communicated through the drum, and the strategic goal is the finish line. So I'm going to take a moment here and I'm going to show you what a race looks like on a dragon boat. Notice how quickly they're paddling in sync. They're like a well-oiled machine. Let's play that one more time for you guys to see. Notice their paddles are all in the water at the same time. There's a drummer, the cadence is going. Now I'm going to show you one more dragon boat. Notice the second boat. Notice the paddles are not in the water at the same time. If you can hear the drum, you'll notice they're not even paddling to the drum. and they're not moving very quickly. In a paddle boat, if you were all sitting in different places and you had all your strong people on the right side, you'd end up going in circles. Notice boat number 2 and look at their paddles. Some are in the air, some are in the water. They're not beating to the cadence. They're not very effective. So is this how your boat is paddling? This time I'm going to play both boats so you see them and can compare them. Notice boat number 1, how efficient they're paddling. Along comes boat number 2. Do you see the difference in the paddling? Now think about your company again. If your departments are not in sync, this is how you're paddling. So if we are in our boat and we're not paddling to the right beat, we're not going to be the most efficient organization. Our goal is to be a really streamlined, energetic, purposeful organization. So what are the keys to winning a dragon boat race? It's the same thing to winning in business. The first one is you got to know where the finish line is, right? Without knowing where the finish line, you'll just be paddling in circles. We need to have a correct steering. We need a CEO guiding us in the right direction. We need everyone paddling in sync. If your departments, for example, if your marketing department does this huge promotion and yet they didn't communicate that to maybe your inventory group, you might be promoting items you don't even have a stock of. So you need to make sure the communication is there and everybody is in sync. We need to balance the strength of the two sides of the boat. So if we have, again, marketing outpowering other areas of the organization, we're going to have problems. We need to maintain a manageable, audible cadence. Everyone's got to hear where we're going, and it has to be at a speed where everyone can manage it and they're not stressed out. So I put together this diagram here on kind of an organization. So behind everything in your organization has to be your purpose, your why you're doing things. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. And then within that, we have the goal of the organization. That's the strategic goal. That's our purpose, where we're trying to go for. Here at Lodestar, for example, our goal is to be the leading educators of business analytics by providing programs like this for you. Our strategy is how we're going to do that. Well, we're going to develop a bunch of cool content. We're going to make it fun and engaging for you guys, and we're going to help give you skills that you might not have been exposed to in the past. Our strategic initiatives may be something that is a little bit more measurable, to say we're going to increase our sales by X%, for example. And then our strategic plan is how are we going to do that? We're going to do that through educational programs. And then finally, it ties to the budget. And this is where you tie the numbers. Unfortunately, a lot of organizations, the budget is tied to the strategy and you miss the parts in between. So think about these. These all relate back to your purpose of your organization. Now, when we talk about purpose, the power of the purpose is amazing. When people know what their purpose is, they do just amazing things and they'll work their tail ends off. And there's a great author out there, and he wrote a book called Start With Why: How Great Leaders Inspire Everyone to Take Action. If you have not read this book, go get this book. I don't care where you get it from, the Audible and get a kind of a recorded version of the book, or get it through Kindle or your bookstore or whatever. But the author has a website called startwithwhy.com. You might want to go out to that website. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a little logo that says TEDx. He was actually on a TED Talk. Go watch it. It's about 20 minutes long, I believe. I can't play it for you now due to copyright rules, but go out there. The website's here. And what he talks about is how people are inspired. So if you look at some of the great companies and great leaders like Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers or people that really accomplished major things, he said there's a commonality in those. And he says what's unique, and he discovered this pattern where he says that they actually think, act, and communicate all in the same way. And the thing about it is they communicate completely differently than everybody else. When he analyzed it, he came up with what he called the golden circle. And it was his way of kind of materializing this concept. And the golden circle goes like this. It has on the outer ring a what. And that is what we are doing. What widget are you selling? What services do you provide? Most organizations know their what. The next circle in is the how. How do we do that? How do we provide that good or service? And then finally, there is the why. Most organizations, people don't know the why they are doing this. And why is not, we want to increase profitability. It's not all about money. It's about what really inspires you, what makes you tick. And for us here at Lodestar, our why is to really disseminate information and get everyone leveraging data to make better decisions. And we're doing that through empowering the people. And when you understand your why and your purpose, it gives you motivation to do great things. If you have team members that don't believe in your purpose, they probably don't belong on your team, right? So let's relate this back to business analytics. Again, I recommend that you go get this book. But when I look at his golden circle and I look at the why, that is when we talk about the purpose of our organization. What great things are we here to accomplish? And he says that all these great thinkers and people that can inspire us actually communicate differently in that they focus on the why, and then the how and the what become just kind of incidental. As long as they're communicating the why, great people will rally behind them, both employees as well as customers. People don't buy the what, they buy the why you provide that service or good. So think about that. He talks a lot about Apple and how their why is to create, just kick butt products and services and innovate. And then, by the way, they happen to do that through great technology. And as a result, the what is incidental. Think about it. They sell computers, they sell MP3 players or iPads, iPhones. But if you look at someone like Dell, would you think about going and buying your, music device from Dell? Probably not. We think about them only as computers. And that's because they communicate from the what first, and not the why first. So let's talk a little bit about what strategy is. I love this blog that was written in February 2013. If you don't read the Harvard Business Review, I'm a big fan of that too. I recommend all of you get it. You can get a downloaded copy of that. In fact, the best issue of that was July of 2013 on influence. It really talks about how we can inspire people. But in this February article, Roger Martin writes that strategy is a singular thing. There is one strategy for a given business. How many times have you guys heard people saying, these are our strategies, right? But he says that strategy is not a set of it's not a set of strategies. It is one integrated set of choices. What's our winning aspiration? Where will we play? How will we win? What capabilities need to be in place? And what management systems must be instituted? I agree with this, actually. I think that it comes down to strategy is directly in line with your purpose, and your purpose should be singular in nature. It's to do whatever it is. For us, it's to educate, right, at Lodestar. So let's go back and look at our triangle here. Our goal is our purpose. Our strategy, there should be one. Now there can be multiple strategic initiatives, and within those we can have strategic plans that support those initiatives, as well as different budgets. Like you have a marketing budget, an HR budget, an operating expense budget, right? So we can have multiple budgets all flowing up. Now let's talk about the role of business analytics. Okay. My view is that business analytics reflects the strategy of the organization through what we focus on. So I'm going to show you how this works. Do me a favor. Look around your room, your office, wherever you're listening to this, and look for everything red that you see. Red, red, red. Keep looking for red. Keep looking for red. Okay, stop. Tell me where you saw purple. You didn't see any purple? Right? You saw a lot of red. How many of you guys saw pink and called it red, or burgundy and called it red, just because you wanted to find more red, right? A lot of us do, because what we will see, we will find what we are looking for. So think about how important that is with your dashboards. Whatever you put on that is going to motivate behaviors. What people are looking at is what they'll actually try and make those numbers look better, right? So also, business analytics articulates the strategic initiative through these dashboards, presenting performance measures that include targets. I'm a big fan of making sure you have a target of where you want to go, right? So that people know where that finish line is, even if it's a finish line directly related just to a performance measure. Like, we want to decrease our return rate by 5% in the next month. Okay, what's our target? Business analytics also provides a current and historical data in an easy-to-use format for decision makers. Notice I put easy-to-use format. Some of us are highly analytical. We love bell curves and statistical analysis, but salespeople usually don't. So you need to make certain that you design and build your business analytics for your audience. If they're not highly analytical, don't make your information present itself highly analytical. Okay? It provides a predictive conclusions leveraging statistical modeling regarding what's likely to occur. So this is where we get our predictive analytics, or SPSS type software in there, to really take loads of data and throw some statistical methodologies on that. Now, some of you aren't quite there yet, but eventually that's where you should be getting. It also, the role of business analytics is to develop a plan in sync with the strategic initiatives and performance measures. So you guys are the voice of information so people can make better decisions and achieve those goals. Your role is so important to the organization's success, but a lot of you don't realize that. So it's time for you guys to step up, rise to the occasion, and really help meet the needs of the organization from a data perspective. So let's look at your business analytics deployment. I like to say that you're either a thermometer or you're a thermostat. Okay? A thermometer, as we know, tells us the temperature in the room that we're in right now, but we can't do a lot about it, right? It's just telling us what it is right now. A thermostat, on the other hand, empowers us to go change our climate. We can go make it hotter or colder, or turn on the dehumidifier and get rid of humidity, or turn on a humidifier and get humidity, right? For those of you that live in the northern regions. So business analytics should provide information so the team members can take action to improve their climate. If it's only giving them information of what happened and not empowering them to ask why and to make decisions on this to change the climate, then you're only halfway there. So think about your business analytics deployment. I'm going to give you a little bit of homework. I want you to go and try and find out what your organization's purpose is. Now, this might not be in your 10K. This might be something a little bit more abstract, but think about, who does your organization help? Who do you serve? Whose lives do you make better with your product or service? And find out what the purpose is to serve those people. Discover your organization's strategy. This may require you to go ask some questions that people are not used to being asked. So don't worry about that. It's going to put you in a great light. If you go to the CFO of your organization and say, "Hi, I'm head of the business analytics, and I want to better understand our organization's strategic initiatives and our strategy so that I can provide information directly in line with that so that people can make better decisions to accomplish that," that would really help me do my job better. you're probably going to get an odd look at first, and then they'll be like, wow, this person's really got it on the ball. They're actually trying to make information leverageable in our organization. The next thing I want you to do is to create a plan for leveraging your business analytics to communicate the data and performance measures in line with the strategic initiatives. Now, remember to know your audience. How analytical are they? How do they process information? So what you really need to be is an absolute great communicator. We have other sessions on our website on helping to improve your communication skills, especially with executives. So check out our webinars and our recordings on our YouTube channel for more information on that. Here is our website. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it's lodestarsolutions.com. You'll see a lot of videos out there. Anytime you see the little icon with the little Lodestar in the corner, that will be a video. Just click it and it will launch our YouTube site for you. We get all the information on what type of videos to put together from you, our viewers. So please email us. Give us ideas on what else you would like to see or what challenges you're having, and maybe we'll be able to put a video together. Additionally, if any of you would like to be a star in one of our videos, we'd love to interview clients and make it much more interactive going forward. So please let us know. Here are some of our Lodestar educational offerings. If you haven't attended our Psychology of Requirements Gathering for Change Agents, it's a blast. It's a great workshop. This is a workshop that we host publicly, periodically in different cities, but we also have been known to bring this on site for clients and getting their teams together. We have one for defining strategic initiatives for change agents, and so this is people, executives that may be struggling with this. We have a program on Agile Project Management for Business Analytics. If you're not familiar with Agile Project Management and you're doing business analytics, it's time to do a little homework, guys and gals. It's really the methodology that is best for an ever-changing world of business analytics. We do executive coaching, and we also can do requirements gathering and project definition. We have a workshop on building your ROI to get funding. And we also can handle any license renewals. And we do offer a free ROI consultation to any Cognos clients where we educate you on what licenses you own today and how you could better leverage them and how our clients have leveraged them. And of course, we offer all sorts of training and consulting services around the Cognos suite. So if you need help on any of these areas, check out our website. And we update those. Also get on our mailing list so that you get emails on new webinars and related topics. We blog a lot. We update our blogs at least twice a week. So check those out. And again, we're always looking for ideas. Here's how you can contact me. My name again is Heather Cole. I am a strategic coach and the president of Lodestar Solutions. And feel free to contact me directly. I'd love to work with you guys and would love to see you on some of our upcoming events.